What's up? Welcome to Flip the Script, the podcast, where we flipping the script on the narrative of community empowerment, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. I got my best friend Marcus Reedus on here today. We gonna just talk about some of the things we've been doing together, growing up together, some of the experiences we had together. Nevertheless, welcome, Marcus. Marcus, what's up, bro? What's happening?
Man, how you doing, man? Thank you so much for having me on your show.
No doubt, man. Thanks for coming. No doubt.
I've been watching you, been doing your thing for a long time, man. I'm so proud.
Man, thank you, man. Thank you, man. Marcus is the biggest comedian you can ever think of, man. You just hanging around him. He always got jokes. He always got something smart to say. Like they say, it's always some truth behind every joke. So, he's always going to keep the moment live, no matter how serious things may be. I can always count on Marcus to just liven up the moment, man. And just talk about just growing up, where we grew up, man. Just growing up in the area, the environment that we grew up in, how everything was as far as the drug selling, man, just the violence in the community, man. Just enlighten our people on what it was growing up and how we had to overcome those obstacles to get into a place where we are today, where, definitely two successful men in the community, two people of character that people look up to. So just talk a little bit about that, bro.
Well, actually, we grew up right there in East Chicago on Guthrie Street, literally 40 seconds from where we sitting at right now. Coming up, like you stated, a lot of drugs, a lot of violence. However, we had a good time. Yeah. I mean, it was fun. We made, as the older people say, made the best of what we had.
Right.
I was just telling your producers a story when I first experienced your greatness. We was maybe 13 years old, 12, 13, 7th grade, and Dwayne, it was after school, Dwayne's like, hey, we got to get home. I got to get home. I'm like, what's the rush? I finna sell my Nintendo. Oh. We 12, 13. So selling your Nintendo is like, is this dude feeling well? Is he okay? So we rushed home, and true enough, Dwayne sold his Nintendo. Don't quote me on how much. Maybe we'll just say $150. So he sold his Nintendo, maybe like, I don't know, 10, 15 games. And I'm like, this dude is out of his mind. 30 minutes later, he buys somebody else's Nintendo for $80 with like, don't quote me on it, but like with 30 games. So I'm like, this dude is a genius. And now looking back on it, That's
GameStop. I tell people all the time today, I was GameStop before GameStop.
And brother,
man, and
I am a witness. I was there. You was GameStop. But you know what, Dwayne? Like I said, that's when I really noticed you was something special. Because the rest of us wasn't on that, I've seen a lot of things that was truly your idea and your baby that people now implement.
Man, I say all the time, I like to say I look at every situation as a business opportunity, right? A lot of people just look at it, man, it's just a game, it's just this. I'm always looking at, man, how could you make some money? How could you monetize, from this opportunity or whatever you got going on? So, again, growing up, I just knew, man, if this, whatever it was, man, whether it be some a game, whether it be some clothes, whatever I can find to hustle, man, I was going to hustle. Obviously, we had the opportunity, like pretty much everybody in the late 80s, early 90s to hustle drugs. But I just felt like, man, I just didn't think that was for me, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I seen plenty of cats making major money off of it, I'm like, man, is that the path that I want to go down? You know what I'm saying? So,
well, not only that, Dwayne, looking back on it now, you're right. We had a lot of friends that was selling drugs, new shoes, new clothes, everything looked good. But instead of that direction, You started cutting hair.
I started cutting hair. You right?
Started cutting hair. Hey, $5 a wop, and it looked good.
Right. I mean, it was. I tell you a story. I remember one of our other friends. We was in competition because I always try to create it whatever I got going on. Right, some form of competition because it kind of keeps me motivated. So back then, again, I was charging $3 a head to cut hair, and my friend he was charging, I believe, $4 or $5. So we would call each other every, it was a day before back to school, so we was calling each other every few hours. Man, how much you done made? How much you done made? Man, I remember, I never forget it like it was yesterday. The day before back to school, I made like $150 cutting hair at $3 a head. Could you imagine how much I was cutting? I mean, I was cutting literally from in the morning to, you know what I'm saying, to basically 10 o'clock at night, nonstop. You know what I'm saying? And it was haircut after haircut. Of course, I got some tips, and, if they want a design, I charge a little bit more. But, man, I was just in there grinding. And that kind of, paved the way of my grind today. You know what I'm saying? The same way I was grinding, cutting hair all day is the same path I took now, man. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever I can do to grind in a legal way, you know what I'm saying? Because, again, even to this day, there's some opportunities out there that can lead you down the wrong path. But, again, I just say, you know what I'm saying, all of those quick get rich quick schemes, you know what I'm saying, they don't last. So, you know what I'm saying, there's no gratification in that. So, again, man, just stay on our hustle, on our grind. Man, I got some stories with this guy here, man. I remember in class, man, he got me my first and only paddle it by assistant principal. We ain't gonna name names, but if you know this assistant principal, man, this man he was about 6, at the time, we 7th grade, so anybody looked too big, but he probably 6'5", 290, you know what I'm saying, assistant principal. And, you heard about the paddles, but that was something you didn't even want to, encounter. But, man, I was in class. Again, I got in trouble for this guy not even knowing what I was getting in trouble for until we got down to the principal office. All I know is, go ahead, I'll let you tell the story.
Right. So again, it's always a story in the story, especially when it comes to you. So I was passing a letter to Dwayne. Coming up, that was one of the no-nos. You don't pass letters in that.
That was pre-cell phone, pre-texting, so everything, your communication was letters, hey, could you pass this over to this person? Yeah.
So the thing is, Dwayne had multiple papers on his desk. He could have easily just put the paper on his desk, gave the teacher an alternate piece of paper. But that was Dwayne. Dwayne, like he said, that was his first paddle in the 7th grade. I was a vet at the time. I think it wasn't the teacher I didn't have that didn't give me a paddle. So, but that's the honesty of this man. Anybody would have just had any kind of paper. The one he gave her that look, I said, oh my God.
So how did I know what not to give her when I didn't even know what the paper said? All I know is he passed me the paper. The teacher said, what was that? Give me the paper. Hey, I don't know what it is. Here you go. So
I was like, oh, doctor, I knew what was in the paper. But again, that goes towards Dwayne's honesty. Great man, man. Hey, great
So what happened? Finish the story.
About what was on the paper, or
the whole story from the beginning.
So, 7th grade, we boys start having interest in girls and stuff. So, at that time then Dwayne, oh, I like her. Oh, I think she's cute. It was one of those type of letters. So I wrote him a letter. Hey man, look at such. I think she's so cute, but it was a little vulgar. But I gave it to Dwayne. The teacher sees it. I mean, I'm talking. I don't want to say because yeah, but I'm talking real reckless in this letter. So he gives the teacher the letter. She reads it appalled. go to the dean's office now, both of us. So we go. He like,
And again, I still don't hear it with us. The letter could have easily said, "Man, have a great day after school. You know, how was the game yesterday? Anything."
so so we go to the dean's office. The dean reads. He's mad. Now, like Dwayne said, we come from an area of drugs and stuff like that. Unfortunately, my mom had succumbed to those pressures. So the dean looks at us, reads, he says, "You got two options. You know, either I call your mom or you take the SWAT." Now, like I said, my mom is heavy in drugs. His mom is working hard, to support them. So even as young as we was, we understood we can't let our mom, stop what they doing to come and see about us acting up in school. Man, so we elected to take the path. Dwayne, who went first?
You went first.
I can.
Here's go. No, 100%. So this guy over dramatic, right? Seriously over dramatic. So the dean says, "Okay, bend over my desk, Marcus." Mr. Reedus, bend over the desk. So Marcus bends over the desk, and I gotta look and see what I'm about to get because I'm next, right? So he goes to hit Marcus. Marcus jumps in the air, rubbing his booty, screaming. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, do I still got an opportunity to call my mama? Because I'd rather just take the punishment from my mama. But I'm like, all right. And Marcus just rubbing his booty the whole time. I'm like, oh my God, I do not.
The thing is, you have to, your license is killing you. So he can lessen he come there with the steel.
But you ain't have to jump up in the air. I'm next. So this is what I'm looking to show. He said, I went there. Like, man, oh my.
I should have warned you. But, like I said, you get that first hit, you have to act like he's killing you. So, okay, he had enough. He learned his lesson,
Well, I mean, it worked. And again, obviously, man, I came next and I got my paddle. It wasn't as bad as Marcus portrayed it. Again, I felt that Marcus definitely could have took a career in acting because he did that one all the way through. But man, that was just one of many first experiences, man, we had together. Obviously, a couple of them can't go on this podcast. That's a whole different podcast.
Just start. You don't want to get counseled already. Go to counsel.
Right. But man, I just appreciate a lot of the things, man, the friendship over the years, man. We've done so many business ventures together, man. You've always, through thick and thin, stood by my side, man. A lot of people say, man, you got to be careful in going into business with your friends, especially your best friends. But Marcus, definitely, no matter what, again, everything didn't always work out according to plan. But man, I would say, he definitely stood as a friend through the whole movie. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I appreciate that. And again, I don't care what I'm going through, man. You're going to make sure you get a laugh out of me, man. It can be a situation where it's absolutely nothing that should be funny, man. But you gonna make sure, man, that we get a good laugh, man.
And then after we laugh, man, what we do? We go hard.
Man, we go hard. We go. No Diddy. No Diddy.
With Dwayne actually makes it easy. I believe in this young man. I always have, bro. Like from day beyond, regardless if we make a lot of money or we go broke.
Man, and we didn't been on both ends of the spectrum with that, man.
Sir.
Again, like I say, as my best friend, we did different things together, man. Some of the things I remember one story, he was helping me. We was running a business together, and when he called me about this particular business, I knew it was bad news. And it was like, man, I hated to see this man call. And I told him one time, I'm like, man, you calling me on this, man. I hate to see your number. I said, I just want to tell you, man, You my guy, love you, my best, but I hate to see your number come across this screen when we dealing with this particular business, man, because I knew you weren't telling me how great the business was doing. You was telling me what was needed or what we had to do, man. But definitely, man, again,
And
just
sometimes, brother, I hated to call.
I know you did. I know you did.
Call, man. And that's now you can, I mean, at the time, we was miserable.
Yes.
Yeah, we was miserable. But I mean, we learned so much from it. Like we learned so much from it. And you know, those type of jewels, man, you know, I thank God for it.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, just again, that's any business, man. I just tell people whatever you go through, right, man, you just got to make sure that you learn from it. Take good notes, man. You know what I'm saying? Take good notes because and a lot of the failures are those hidden notes that you can take on to the next thing that you're doing and make sure you don't, make those same mistakes. So man, I've learned a lot through with you, man. I laughed a lot, man. We cried a lot, man. Every experience that you can think of, man. I've dealt with this guy, man. So again, man, what's new? What you got? What you got planned? I know. So we working out together every day. We in the gym together. 5 days a week, and we just. We trying to make a transformation. Yeah, 6 days this week. Absolutely. Man, no rest. Monday I grind. You know what I'm saying? We grinding every single day.
Hey, bro, you truly, truly inspire me. Coming up, if it's coming from Dwayne, it's almost like, okay, all right, we'll do it. Now watching you at our age, especially if you're really passionate about it, it behooves me to listen. Honestly, I don't mind following your direction. Bro, you have saved me from bumping my head so many times, man. Bro said, bro, he said just like this, bro. I don't know about that. I wouldn't do it. But not just say that, he explained.
Absolutely.
I'm like, yeah.
Because I got a lot of explanations on things that I didn't try it and it didn't work or I didn't fail. And again, that don't mean because I failed at it, somebody else go fail at it. I'm only giving you the experience that I went through, right? You know what I'm saying? So you will know what to look out for. You know what I'm saying? If it's a pothole down the street, on this street, I'm saying, hey, bro, make sure when you going down this street, you pay attention to this pothole. You know what I'm saying? It would definitely not be, I wouldn't be a good friend if I just let you go down that street knowing it's a pothole and knowing you're going down there, right? So that's what I kind of do. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to put you in a position where you don't make the same mistakes that I made and make you aware of what didn't work for me. You know what I'm saying? So you could either prepare better or do it a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, a lot of people look at me and look at the things that I've accomplished and, say, man, I heard it. I heard, which is the most ridiculous thing I could hear is, man, you lucky, man. I'm so far from lucky, man. The hard work that I put in, man, ain't nothing lucky about that. Now, I would say I would like to think that I'm blessed and highly favored, but the luck has really nothing to do with it. I think I put myself through hard work in a lot of positions where a lot of people don't get put in just because of the hard work I put in. Again, a lot of times people recognize that hard work, whether that's different business relationships that you might do. Man, I know I want to work with this guy because this guy go get the deal done, or you know what I'm saying? I know this guy because he not going to let no be an option. You know what I'm saying? Or he go make sure he do everything he got to do to succeed. So, a lot of times, I get opportunities just based off of, what I'm saying, my history. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I just give the advice, man, to continue to grind, continue to put that work in, man.
And you give great advice. What is it, last song? I have a maintenance company where I go in and get apartments and homes rent ready for the next tenant. I was at my wit's end at one point. I was telling Dwayne, I'm like, man, I have some employees. Uh, can you hire them? Because I'm gonna hear my company's not doing well. So bro said, no, you keep your company. What I'm gonna do is I have these properties. I'm gonna put you in there, give you the opportunity. Best thing he could have done.
Exactly, man. No problem, man. No problem, man. That's the, as they say, that's what friends are for.
And that's why, I will never let you down, man. I have my game up so much just because of the opportunity that you're afforded.
Man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, I was ready to give it up.
I know.
Man, I can't do it.
Yeah, he go tell me, he was like, man, you think you can hire my guys? And it's the scene in American Gangster when Denzel fly overseas, and the pressure was coming down on him, and the feds was kind of gearing down on him, kind of getting close to catching him and find out what he was doing. And he went to the Chinese. He was like, I just want one more large shipment. You know what I'm saying? And then the Chinese guy, that was his supplier at the time, was like, it might not be in my best interest to tell you this, but quitting while you're ahead is not the same as quitting. But and you think about it, he's like, no, I'm your supplier. Ain't nothing gonna happen to me. I could supply this and get paid, but it's not in my best interest. So I say that to say the same time when you came to me and said, man, could I hire your guys? Yes, as a businessman, I could have said, you know what I'm saying? Cut out the middleman and said, you don't want to do it. I'll take over the guys and don't have to pay the middleman fee. But I'm like, man, it wasn't in my best interest to say that. But at the same time, you my best friend. So I'm just going to make sure, you know what I'm saying? You always in a position to where you can eat, you know what I'm saying? And you can do what you need to do, man. And again, whatever advice I can give you, in the long run, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, and as you say, man, I ain't lost no meals.
You have it, man. You have it. We working on that, We working on that. He kind of my motivation too, man. Yeah, I would tell that story. I wouldn't be me about what I had this picture of me when I was hitting it hard in the gym. This picture probably like 10 years old, and not a little older than that. And I even had abs in this picture. And you laughing, man. So he tells me, he's like, bro, I don't want to tell you this, but man, you might as well delete that picture because you'll never see abs again. So he's been my motivation. Every single day I'm in that gym, all I'm thinking about is, man, you will never see abs again. And it was like, man, that's all I need to push me. And, they there, you know what I'm saying? It's hidden a little bit, but they there, man. And again, man, whether you know or not, the motivation that you give me, man, just sometimes just the jokes you tell, right? You know what I'm saying? You might just think, well, man, I'm just being me. And that's true. You are just being you. But at the same time, man, you'll say something that'll, lighten the moment in a minute, man.
But if you notice, even when I'm joking, I'm for real.
Yeah, even when you joking, you telling the truth, man.
I'm for real.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, we came a long way, man. And I tell the story, and I even, it's in my book, The Big Picture, how, growing up, obviously I wasn't one of the smartest kids growing up. I was, a little behind, reading wasn't one of my strengths. And I tell you, he laughed because he know where I was going with this. I mean, yeah, we had remedial classes together. And again, I can say that today because I'm the same guy that graduated magna cum laude, right? So, you know what I'm saying? And you got your college degree. So we took that situation like we could have been like, man, we ain't smart enough to read. We ain't reading on our grade level, or man, we in this classes that's behind. But man, we just, we stood to it, man, and stayed on track, and both end up getting our college degrees. And man, just again, I think we both examples of anything is possible, man, right? I mean, if you look back, man, if you just could look back at our lives, man, and what we came. I mean, when I say we came from the streets, that's exactly what we came from. You know what I'm saying? Just everything that was around us, man. We had a lot of mutual friends that took the wrong routes. I remember, I'll never forget. I'm in, my freshman class. We was in music. This was a Friday. One of my friends. Again, we ain't gonna name no names, but you obviously know him. We grew up together, and don't without saying no names. He the one who gave you the name, your little nickname. But so you know who exactly what I'm talking about. He's just talking about that. But man, he came to class and he was like, man, he had some crack in his hand. He was like, man, my uncle just gave me this, man, and I'm gonna sell it over the weekend and I'm gonna do this and see what. And again, we freshmen, so we 13, 14 years old, right? And we don't, it's wrong, but you don't necessarily understand the consequences at your age, right? So come Monday, we talk again, we in music class. And I'm like, man, what happened? He's like, man, I made like $180 over the weekend. Again, you freshmen in high school, you like $180 over the weekend. You know what I'm saying? You like, man, my mama working every 2 weeks and barely, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and you made this as a freshman with no overhead. You ain't got no bills, man. This is what you made. I'm like, so, I asked him, I'm like, man, you gonna keep doing it? He's like, man, I think so. Again, we freshmen in high school, right? And he was like, yeah, I think so. Nevertheless, fast forward 10 years later, he ended up doing an 8-year bid. You know what I'm saying? He ended up doing an 8-year bid, a federal bid. You know what I'm saying? And I was there, and when he went down and did his bid, I was thinking I was there the weekend it all started. You know what I'm saying? And that it could have went either way, right? You know what I'm saying? He could have made the decision like, no, man, I'm not about to do that. That ain't right. Yeah, I made what I made this weekend, but I ain't about to do that. But he chose to keep doing it. And he actually, man,
One of the greatest
man,
greatest guy already made.
Man, and again, we were all on a freshman football team together. And we thought, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think either that sophomore year, our sophomore year, he actually dropped out of high school. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sophomore, maybe junior. We'll give it to him. But I know he didn't walk across that stage with us.
He did.
But again, it all started that weekend in music class, right? You know what I'm saying? And I just tell people, one decision you make can really lead your path one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? Down the right path, or unfortunately down a situation that you can't go back, right? You know what I'm saying? And again, telling the story, he did the 8-year bid, he called me, when he was about to get out on work release, was like, man, I need a job. You got any jobs for me? Again, this guy, man, this is one of my childhood from first grade on through high school friends. So, of course, you know what I'm saying? Told him, I got you, man. Don't worry about it. Get out. He worked for me for about 1.5 years, 2 years. You know what I'm saying? He took up welding. He ended up getting his welder certificate. And
not to cut you off, bro. But again, just reflecting on it, it's not just him. It was a lot of our friends that got out of prison and you put them on.
Absolutely.
It wasn't just, so just thinking about, I can name 3, 4.
But, it has its ups and downs, right? Because, I put all of the friends on, because I had multiple businesses, but I got labeled in the community as I must be selling drugs, because I'm dealing with all of these ex-drug dealers and these, you know what I'm saying, affiliated with all of these people sellers. But I'm always like, man, if I don't give them that opportunity, you know what I'm saying, the only opportunity they go have is another opportunity from the streets. Because the streets is always giving out opportunities. They don't come with no guarantees, but the streets is always going to give you an opportunity to go down that path. But, man, again, I'm always going to be there, man. I helped multiple people, and I just believe in second chances, right? You know,
Or you know what? When it comes to you, I didn't see you do third and fourth chances.
yeah,
It's just, and you would say something like, man, I can't believe it. I said, bro, you got to continue to do exactly what you've been doing. And this is how you got here. This is how the blessings come to you. Don't deviate from that.
yeah.
A lot of those people who don't do you right, those are the ones who are going to suffer. But don't change who you are. And then we talking about, where we come from. And you had this picture in your office. And there's a guy right in front of God 3 is a picture.
Yeah.
They
So obviously everybody, we talking to the, essentially the whole world. People don't know what. So Guthrie was just a project, right? So just like any other project across America, high density, a number of people, and not a lot of job opportunities, things like that. So Guthrie is just the street we grew up on, and basically the projects, right? So the picture that he's referencing is a picture I call the bigger picture, right? So again, it's just based on me growing up, and it's a picture of a girl asking a guy, these little kids, right? The little guy's looking up, and as he's looking up, the girl's like, I don't see nothing up there. What you looking at? And around him is a whole lot of, basically how we grew up. It's, people shooting dice games, it's somebody exchanging drug transactions, just everything, the environment that we grew up in. And she looking at him like, what you looking at? And, obviously he not looking at anything, in particular. He's just visualizing, right? And she like, what you looking at? And he just looking up, and he like the bigger picture. And then above him, he's visualizing himself graduating from high school, and beyond that, graduating from college, and running his own business at a desk. So again, I just say, no matter what your environment is, man, don't be distracted by all of the things in your environment, whether it's drugs, whether it's gang activity, just, continue to focus on the big picture. Just visualize, no matter what, man, just visualize what your end goal is, right? And look past your current circumstances, because a lot of times we can look at our current circumstances and just be like, man, it ain't no way out of this, man. But man, we are living proof that if we can do it, it's always a way out. Just visualize.
We knew it was a way out. And then more than that, we knew we had to get out.
Absolutely.
Coming out, graduating high school, I knew I wasn't ready mentally for college.
Right. And
Dwayne, Dwayne, he decided, he went to school.
Because I didn't know no other option, right? Like, you're right. I didn't feel like, a lot of kids may, feel like, man, I'm ready for college. But I didn't feel like I was still struggling in high school. But it was like, my mother was like, man, you going to college. You know what I'm saying? My father passed early, when I was a freshman in high school. So it was like, my mother was like, when is first day of school? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like no other options. But again, I wasn't ready for college. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know if college is what I wanted to do, but, I did it anyway. That's a whole nother subject, but you said you wasn't ready. Again, this is a vet, so just what was your decision?
I decided to go to the Army.
Okay.
I did. It was no way I was going to graduate high school and watch other people progress through other things, bigger and better things. And I just stand idle in East Chicago. I had to do something. It's always a drive to make my family happy, my friends happy, make them proud of me. And there's one thing I couldn't do. I just could not stay home. Now, it hurted me to leave. I wish that you would have came with me, or Maurice would have came with me.
Really, I was not trying to be all I can be at the time. Not as. So I definitely wasn't trying to be all I could be. Now later on, I actually I was like 39 years old, and No, I was.
He was younger than that.
No, whatever. I don't know the cutoff age, but man, that's a whole different story, man. But I actually tried to enroll in the Army in my adult life, and I would have, because I was just fed up with what was going on, and it's a backstory to it. Everything got a backstory, but I was, I actually tried to enroll in the Army, man.
It went on.
Yeah, to join the Army, and I think I missed the deadline. Whatever the deadline is, I missed it by like 6 months. So I mean,
Everything works out.
everything works.
What I do know as I get older is our life is planned out.
Absolutely.
Not to the point where things are just going to happen, but the way that you carry yourself, the seeds that you plant, always going to go in your favor, man, especially if you're hard work.
Or vote against you. I mean, one of my favorite sayings is, you are what you are, you have what you have, based solely on the seeds you've sown in the past. So, a lot of times, man, you might look at your situation like, man, why am I here? Man, it's based on the seeds you've sown. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's good or bad seeds, you know what I'm saying? That's just the way of the universe, right? So, if you plant, good seeds, and you put in that good seeds, is putting in that hard work, that grind, learning, continue to, elevate yourself, then obviously what's going to come to fruition is, the success that comes from that. You know what I'm saying? But if you, half-assing it, going through the motions, and then you look back like, man, I can't catch a break. Man, you ain't putting yourself in position to catch no break. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to understand that you are going to have whatever seeds you sown. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's karma as well too. You know what I'm saying? Like, people like, well, man, I can't find no, I had a friend that said, man, if it wasn't for bad, he said he had buzzard luck. I was like, man, what is buzzard luck? You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, I can't win for losing, but that's what you putting in the universe, right? You know what I'm saying? You putting in, I can't win for losing. So guess what you gonna get? You gonna get a whole lot of losses, because that's what you expect, and that's what you putting out there. Man, I don't never say, man, I can't win for losing, or, everything go wrong. No, man, I think I can have the absolute best life that can possibly be had. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that's what it's all about. So you went to the Army, you know what I'm saying? Like, one of the songs that I always think about is, I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? Tupac's I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? Because I was thinking all the time, like, I got a big money scheme, and you ain't even with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I always said, man. I'm like, you moved away. You know what I'm saying? Like, you moved to a different city, man, and it was like, man, literally,
It always count on.
absolutely.
The Army, my marriage, my divorce, always Dwayne, always been.
Man, that's again, that's what friends are for.
Absolutely. But even though I did, and they tell you that's a mark of a good friend. That's how you know. Even though that you move, do different avenues, do different things. In our case, I moved, 300 miles away. We continue that bond.
Absolutely, man. I mean, man, what we went through, that bond is unbreakable, man. We, peaks, you talking peaks and valleys, man, we experienced both of those at a whole nother level. Whole nother level. So question. So you said you wasn't ready for college, so you went to the Army.
Right.
Do you think what's your thoughts on, do you think you gotta, somebody that graduates should go to, you know what I'm saying, college? Is that something they gotta do?
No, but what is very important, you can't be stagnant. Now, if you're not ready for college, that's fine. Actually, that's a sign of maturity. Because if you're not ready mentally, you're going to go to college and flunk out. People back, they put on in November, December.
Let's forget a lot of people. Let's start with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was one of those people that was going through college, man, going through the motion. I mean, it didn't help the fact that, I got a job at Foot Locker, which back in the 90s was like a job in heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a job at Foot Locker and I end up going through the ranks and, what I'm saying, moving up and making great money back in the 90s. I'm, 20 years old, making $65,000 a year in a car. Man, two brand new cars. But so that didn't help. But man, I still like my take on college, man. Again, I don't want to sound hypocritical. I think education is extremely important and vital, even to this day, right? I'm constantly educating myself. I'm an avid reader, you know what I'm saying? I'm always reading and educating myself on books of, leadership, qualities, you know what I'm saying, relationships in terms of working with, different people, your staff, and anything you can do to elevate yourself. So I definitely think education is vital to any success or any avenue that you choose to go to. But I don't necessarily say that it has to be college. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, I say this as well. I never met somebody that said, man, I plan on failure, being a failure in life, right? You know what I'm saying? People don't plan to fail. But I know a lot of people that fail to plan. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to make sure that you
fail to plan.
Man, you plan on failing, So you just got to have a plan and you got to stick to it, man. And I don't want people to say, well, man, I ain't going to college because I think it's going to be that much more hard work. Mm-hmm. If you don't go to college, it's going to be just as much hard work, right? You know what I'm saying? But again, you got to be more focused if you choose not to go to college, right, than if you choose to go to college. Because again, if you go to college, you still got a couple years to figure some things out, right? You know what I'm saying? But if you make that move, man, I ain't going to college. Okay, so what's the plan? You got to have a plan. You got to say, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to get there. And you got to always say this, man, you got to pick somebody that you kind of admire and educate yourself on everything that they've done and how they got there. Again, and I use Kobe is one of my favorite players of all times in any sport, right? And, he went to the NBA right out of high school, 18 years old. And, he just admired Jordan, you know what I'm saying? He studied Jordan's craft, studied everything it was to, know about Jordan. It was like, man, this is how he moved. Hey, Jordan, how you asking? And they was like, man, he asking all these, how you know how to do this? How you know how to, you know what I'm saying? And he just put that work in.
Kobe also knew what he wanted to do at a young age.
Right.
I ain't had no clue. Do I want to be a fireman? Do I want to be a policeman? I didn't know. All I knew is I wasn't ready for college, and I'm talking about academically too.
Right.
Not just mentally, academically. I knew I couldn't afford it. So, okay, I'm not saying I'm not going to college, but let me go through this avenue, and it was a commercial. But remember, all the commercials was
why they don't do that no more?
But they finna pay for college. Oh, they gonna do this, and then he says, the recruiter tells me, hey, you can play football in college. I can play football as a college.
Yeah, you been there in the Army.
Yeah, in the Army. Yeah. Get there, he talk about flag football with. But no, man, I just knew I didn't want to go.
But I mean, obviously, you got the Army and the Navy today. Notre Dame is playing Navy. Navy is undefeated. We don't know what that means nowadays, but I'm excited about that game. So, I mean, you can obviously go to the Army, go to the Navy, and have, play top level talent as well. But I guess, you didn't have that top level football skills, so you play flag football at the Army.
When I look back at it, and I like to play all sports, baseball, basketball, football, track, I swam, I ran cross country, I wrestled, and I was good at all sports. I just wasn't great You see, and it took me a minute to
See, I mean, now again, he was an athlete. I mean, and he's still an athlete to this day. He said he was good at all sports, just wasn't great. I would say I was okay at a couple of sports. I just wasn't good. You know what I'm saying?
what
Like,
when it comes to basketball, like, but football, you was actually pretty good. I think, well, it's not even I think. I know it was your confidence level. Basically, everybody seen. It's like, oh,
definitely.
that's what, man, he knocked your block off.
I did. I had zero. That's what, and I think that's it. You know what I'm saying? Our confidence, but you know, my body type
And
high
you
school.
had, well, you had a big brother that was great.
Right, right.
So you
Shout
trying
out
to
to
feel the
Condo.
pressure. Yeah, shout out to Gun Big Bro Condo. You want to be that, and honestly, I think you probably could have been better. But you just,
His brother was
you
just. See, he was the prototypical defensive end, right? He was 6'3", you know,
how could you come to the prototypical?
because I won 6'3". Oh, you don't know whether they came out of. They never put me in in high school. I'm 170, 75 pounds. So
A muscle, though.
yeah, but they put me at corner. I wasn't, man. I got burnt every time they threw the ball to my side. I think I got the record for touchdown catches against me in my high school as a freshman.
They didn't know what to do with us. Like you say, you was a corner. They put me at old tackle. Who was I gonna block?
Nobody.
Nobody. And I didn't either. I didn't either. But that wasn't on us.
Yeah,
Because if you look back at it, who was stronger than us?
you're right.
It was crazy strong. And to this day, I've never seen a team as strong and as fast as us.
We're having all of these high hopes as freshmen of, you know, when we get to senior, we going state. Man, we was like, man, we gonna be the best team because we had we was just ridiculously strong. We was in the weight room. Man, now I didn't play my senior year of football, so I ain't gonna take any type of
Don't say quit.
credit for the record. But shout out to what was our record? What was our record?
What was our record? We was I don't remember. We won one game.
1-8 or 1-9. We going
Or
for
that victory party. I still remember it.
y'all had a victory party after losses. Like who does that? Like y'all had, but that was part of the problem, right? You know what I'm saying? We was young. A lot of the kids was, you know what I'm saying, 18 plus. You know what I'm saying? We had super seniors. That's when we was graduating, almost 21 on the team. But man, it was. Man, again, everybody know high school is the absolute funnest time, you know, you'll have as a child growing up. But man,
So many lessons.
man, so many lessons.
Yeah. I never let nobody dictate my life.
Right.
So, like we just said, now, Coach was super cool guy. But I don't think he knew exactly what to do with us. You a corner, me a tackle. I should have said, you know what, Coach, this ain't working out. Let me do this. You should have said, Coach, you know what, this not working out. Now, nobody could put you in a position that you don't want to be in.
You're right. You're right. KYP. Stacey King got a saying KYP again. You know, shout out to the Bulls. I'm a huge Bulls fan, but Stacey King, the announcer, he got a big saying KYP, know your personnel, and I just think our coaches didn't know us. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know where the players said, paying us out of position, and as a business owner, right? You got to KYP, know your personnel. You got to know what position to put your people in to succeed, what position you could be putting them in to fail. So it not only goes translate in the world of sports, right? But it's also in the world of life. And as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, kind of knowing what positions you need, who bring this quality, this, that. So, man, all of that.
If you're not just talking, bro, like I said, you walking the walk. And I'll give an example. You came on one of my jobs, and one of my guys that you know that's very skilled, he was painting the wall. I said, bro, why is he painting the wall? It needs to be painted. Bro, how much you paying him? He shouldn't be painting no walls.
Man,
Knowing you know what I mean? And I'm like,
man, there's levels to everything, right? You know what I'm saying? Again, you talking about somebody like me. I started off at Foot Locker as a stock guy making $3.75 an hour. You
how
got
much was your first check?
not my first check, my first couple of checks, no exaggeration, every 2 weeks was like $19 for 2 weeks. I was working 1 day a week on shoot days, on shipment days, they called them. Every 2 weeks, man, for about a month and a half, my check was like, $19. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even worth cash. You know what I'm saying? So I just literally stuck it in the envelope of my drawer until I got enough of them to cash. So again, I was still cutting hair. You know what I'm saying? Still had my side legal hustles. You know what I'm saying? That was just something to kind of give me, in the door for opportunity. Then my car burnt down and I'm like, man, I need more hours. So, but yeah, man, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Just definitely taking advantage of it and going through those ranks. But I say that to say, once you at that rank, you got to know your role. You know what I'm saying? You got to play your role, whatever role that is. Again, my role as a CEO of a established, businesses that I have, just knowing what I best fit, what my businesses need me at, and making sure everybody else is playing in position and not playing out of position. Because when you got people playing out of position, one, it's not going to maximize the business and you not going to be as successful in the business. And two, you know what I'm saying, they not go feel comfortable and be able to exceed. You know what I'm saying? Because they, like you say, when I was playing football, I lacked confidence. And that translates again to the business. You got to make sure you give, your people, your employees that confidence to know that they able to succeed. You know what I'm saying? So again, I always, I have a lot of women that work for me. So I know they like, I'm going to say, hey, I remember when I was playing football, and I know they like, here we go again with one of those football analogies. I'm like, well, I may reference basketball, right? But I just think both of them kind of go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many things that translate from, sports over to the business world. I know a lot of people say they hire only people that play particular sports because those people understand, teamwork and, common goal and accomplishing and working together. You know what I'm saying? Like all of those things, factor in when, coming up with a successful team. Same thing with a successful business. So, man, I can't thank you enough, bro, for coming on, joining us. I think you bring some valuable information that's going to help us flip the script in our community on entrepreneurship, as well as community empowerment. We always about that, man. And, man, thank you, bro. I thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, look, my man, that was a pleasure being here, man. Whenever you call, I don't care what it is, what time.
And those are all facts, no cap.
So I'm gonna eat.
Yeah. I appreciate that, bro.
No worries.
Appreciate that.
Oh.
It's